That was a chart going around a little while ago, talking about the least attractive hobbies according to women. Uh, these are the hobbies that just make you so unattractive. I found the graph, so I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see it. But yeah, this is the graph, and when you read it, you can tell it's a bunch of BS. It's a BS chart, but we gonna look at it anyway. Let me pull it up. So this is the chart, right? It says least attractive hobbies for men according to women. Number one is playing video games. So you know some chick on some bull made this and made it up. These ain't no official numbers from nowhere. This is just somebody made up. But we're gonna keep going. Next is collecting figurines. Third is magic tricks. Like, really? Like, who's doing magic tricks as a hobby in 2006 to the point where women are like, this is such an unattractive hobby. I don't understand why every man I meet does magic tricks. It ain't that many people doing magic tricks in the world for this to even be that high on the list. That's how you know this is garbage. Online trolling. Gambling. Gambling seems official. Gambling seems legit. That's probably the first one on this list that make any type of sense. Come on, man. Then you got, under that, you got building model trains. You don't see that a lot these days either for anybody to be talking about they don't want a man who builds model trains. That's like more of a, but building model train, that's old school. That's like my parents and my parents' parents, the hobbies they did back then, collecting cars and building model trains and all that stuff. But, you know, hey, what do I know? I know it's still some people that do it to this day, but I'm saying it ain't that popular for it to be on this list. Next, you got taxidermy. That's when you really know that this is a garbage list. You know that is some garbage right there. So you only got gambling on here. You don't have nothing on here about racing cars. You don't have nothing on here about smoking. What else? What else is something else? Nightlife, partying. You got taxidermy. And if you don't know what a taxidermy is, I'll read you the definition real quick. The art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals, and especially vertebrates. So there you go. Under that, you got comic book collecting. And then under that, you got bird watching. Is there a woman really out here hating on a man who likes to go outside and bird watch? Yeah, this is how you know this list is garbage. So what I did, I went and tried to pull up a reasonable, more legit, official type of survey to the best that we could get from online. So I'm gonna show you what I came to. Let's look. So this is what I got right here, right? I went to ChatGPT and I told it to show me the least attractive men hobbies, right? And it said, if you're asking about hobbies that are commonly perceived as making men less attractive in dating, research suggests it's usually not the hobby itself, but how someone engages with it. That's something that I said. I did a whole video on this about it's not the hobby, it's you. So when you finish this video, go watch that video. But continuing on, it says, that said, some hobbies are stereotyped more negatively than others. Common examples include excessive gambling, seen as financially risky and potentially addictive. I ain't gonna read all the breakdowns. I'm just gonna read everything. It says excessive gambling, obsessive gaming, collecting that becomes compulsive. I will read that one. For example, spending beyond one's means or letting collections take over living space. Collecting itself isn't inherently unattractive. I read that one because that's the hobby that I'm in. Heavy drinking as a hobby, talked about that. I would also throw smoking like cigars and all that in there. doom scrolling, social media obsession, street racing, or reckless thrill seeking. See, all this makes sense. Excessive sport betting or fantasy sports, conspiracy rabbit holes. So all that makes more sense than that other list. And this actually gives you a breakdown on why, not just telling you some stuff like taxidermy or bird watching. Then it goes on to say, interestingly, some hobbies that people assume are unattractive, such as action figure collecting, tabletop games, comic books, anime, or model building, don't consistently rank as unattractive on their own. What tends to matter more is whether whether the person has a balanced life, whether the hobby creates financial or relationship problems, whether they can talk about topics beyond the one's interests, confidence, and passion without letting the hobby become their entire identity. This is stuff that I broke down in my video about It's Not the Hobby, It's You. If you want a real good breakdown on this subject, watch that video. Again, after you finish this one. And it goes on to says, in other words, someone who collects action figures responsibly, has a career, maintains relationships, and has varied interests in general, or in interests generally, perceived much more positively than someone whose hobby dominates every aspect of their life. That's what I said. So there's no official source that you can find or an official chart that's going to tell you the most unattractive hobby, like that dumb chart we saw first. I was going to read some Reddit threads, but man, trying to dig through threads just to see what people had to say on this subject, it's a headache. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and I'm going to type in and I'm going to let it find all the stuff. Less work for me. But I can tell you from personal experience, I was a gamer most of my childhood, teenage years, and early adulthood, and I never had a problem with women. I used to collect action figures. No, not action figures. I used to collect comic books, Source magazines, XL magazines, Blacktail magazine. That's something totally different. I used to collect all that stuff. Never had a problem. Started collecting action figures in my late 20s, but by that time I was already married. But even still, it wasn't a problem. It wasn't like I started collecting action figures and my wife was like, what the hell are you doing? This is so unattractive. I am divorcing you. And I've never seen it be a problem unless I make it a problem. So, let me go. I already typed in what I was looking for, so let me pull it up. So I typed in chat. I said, give me some women's take on men and their hobbies from across the web. So here's what it gave me. It says, looking across Reddit discussions, surveys, dating articles, and opinion pieces, there's no single women's view on men's hobby. However, several things come up repeatedly. So let's look at what repeatedly came up. Number one, I don't care what his hobby is. I care how he does it. This is probably the most common sentiment. Women frequently say they're fine with almost any hobby if the man has his finances under control, doesn't neglect his relationships, doesn't make the hobby his entire personality, has a healthy balance in life. This was a reoccurring theme in Reddit discussions about gaming, collecting, cars, sports, and tabletop games. Again, I talked about this in my video. Make sure you watch it. I'm going to put it at the end. Number two, it says creative hobbies are viewed positively. One widely discussed survey from Date Psychology found women rated these among the most attractive hobbies: reading, cooking, playing a musical instrument, learning languages, painting, photography, woodworking, writing. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 loosely. So I'm in there. These hobbies tend to signal creativity, curiosity, and competence. Number 3, it says passive or online-centered hobbies receive more criticism. Across discussions, hobbies that drew the most negative reaction included watching pornography, constant online arguments, spending excessive time in manosphere communities, excessive crypto obsession, heavy clubbing or partying. I said that. Excessive marijuana use. I said a couple of these. The criticism is usually less about the activity itself and more about what it suggests regarding priorities or lifestyle. Let's see. And the source on that was New York Post. I should read the sources from these things, but y'all could just go look this stuff up to verify if what I'm saying is true or not. Number 4, video games divide opinions. Gaming probably generated the most disagreement. Some women said, I game too. Others said, only if he plays every night instead of participating in the relationship. Competitive gaming or playing with moderation received more positive reactions than gaming becoming someone's entire identity. Okay. Number 5 says collecting gets mixed reactions. So whether it's action figures, Legos, model trains, trading cards, comics, many women online said collecting is perfectly fine until it creates financial problems, takes over the home, becomes an obsession. It says, interestingly, people who build, customize, paint, or photograph their collections often receive more positive comments because it involves creativity rather than simply acquiring items. Come on, brother. You can read, brother, just because you went to Chicago public schools, brother. Don't let that stop you, brother. Read these words properly, brother. Number 6, women often dislike being expected to adopt every hobby. A recurring opinion was, I don't need to love football, cars, or Warhammer, just respect my hobbies too. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Did a video about that too. Y'all should just go watch the whole channel. I need the watch time anyway. Many women said successful relationships don't require identical hobbies. I agree. Just mutual respect and interest in each other's passions. I wholeheartedly agree. One of the sources for that is Allure magazine or an Allure article. Number 7, enthusiasm is attractive. One of the most consistent observations. A man who's genuinely passionate about something, whether it's hiking, woodworking, photography, restoring cars, or collecting, often comes across as more attractive than someone who with no interest at all. Confidence and balance mattered more than specific hobbies. God, I killed it with that video I did. Cause they saying all this stuff that I talked about. But let's close this out. Overall takeaway. Across the web, the pattern is fairly consistent, generally viewed positively. Reading, cooking, music, fitness, woodworking, photography, hiking, learning new skills. Mixed opinions, video games, action figure collecting, comic books, tabletop games, sports fandom, and cars. Commonly viewed negatively, hobbies associated with addiction, financial irresponsibility, excessive screen time, or a lifestyle that crowd out relationships. The reoccurring message isn't the hobby is unattractive, it's that balance, maturity, and how someone prioritizes their hobby have a much bigger impact than the hobby itself. And I found something else. Let me read this. This is a take somebody put up on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It said, I've said this about 8,000 times, but if you're attracted to a man, you don't care what his hobbies are. Constantly reaffirming what I said. Women write love letters to serial killers. Yes, they do. Don't listen to anyone saying video games are the line. They're nagging. And that, people, is all I got to say about that on this subject. Least attractive hobbies. Is there an official chart out there that breaks that down? No. What all you need to know, or what you need to know is what I just read you that was pulled and scraped from the internet and given to you right here. With that being said, keep on with your hobby. Just don't let it take over your life and don't let it become your whole identity. I'm out.